Okay, friends, I'm going to try to do this with little to no editing because I really need to get this done and I want to tell you about it and I don't want to think about it too much. So we're just gonna go for it. Today, I have two very exciting things to tell you about. One, I need to talk about what I'm wearing because this is my second ever pattern to come out. It's called the Balsamroot tee, but I will get to that in a minute. Nope, hold on, wait a minute. Welcome back to Gosh Yarn It. My name is Kelly, and I am a new knitwear designer and a mom to feral little humans. And I talk all about knitting and yarn and fiber. I've been doing a little series on USA made yarn or US yarn brands. So I will link that. Go check that out. And, but today, okay, so back to it. Today, I need to talk to you about two very important things. One being my Balsamroot tee that is now available, and I will go over it in a minute. But the second thing I would love to talk about is my next pattern. I am doing a test call for that right now. So let me talk about my Balsamroot tee first. I'll give you the tea on the tee. And then I will share about my next pattern. Okay? Okay. Okay, so let me stand up. I'll give you a little show of my Balsamroot tee, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it. Okay. Okay, I hope you can see me. My face might be cut off just from the angle, but you should be able to see the t-shirt. I'm sorry if it looks a little rough right now. We just went camping, and I brought it. I brought it camping. So anyway, this is a Balsamroot tee. It is, well, let me tell you about it in a second. I'll just do a little spin. Little spin for you. Okay, so it is Balsamroot tee, and I'll put up some pictures so that you can continue to look at it while I tell you about it. The Balsamroot tee is, it is, I was somewhere else. The Balsamroot tee is a raglan, but it is a compound raglan t-shirt, which means a compound raglan just means that the shaping is different for the front back sections and the sleeve sections. So the front and back are shaped at a different rate than the sleeves. And basically all you need to know about that is that it just gives you a better fit. Then equally kind of increasing in a 45-degree angle. That means that for bigger sizes, the yoke is going to be a lot longer to accommodate the size for the body and the sleeves. On the smaller sizes, it may work, but basically I go based off of different measurements for different body types, and each size has its own raglan shaping, which means that each size is getting a custom fit. It does make the shaping, it does put more work on my end where the shaping is definitely more tailored. But I think it's worth it, and that means that you get a design that actually fits well regardless of your size on the spectrum. And that's what I want, you know? It's a little bit more work, but it's absolutely worth it. And yeah, like you can't, when you grade sizes, you can't just go like and say, okay, let's do 2 or 4 inches bigger on each size. It just doesn't work that way. It might work that way for the chest area, but it's not going to work that way for like the collar or the neckline shaping or the sleeve or whatever have you, what have you. So, excuse me. I think that's something really important to know about this design is, and all my designs, is that shaping, I'm not just copy and pasting when it comes to grading. I'm really taking into account each size's measurements and grading for that size. So, like one of my testers, it was such sweet feedback. She was a size 7, and she said that the fit is so good on her, and she's so grateful for that, because this is the second pattern that she's been knitting for herself. She knits for other people all the time, and her husband's been encouraging her to knit more for herself. And so this was her second pattern that she's knit for herself, and she said it fits so well, and she's so grateful for that. And I am so grateful for that feedback. It was so wonderful to hear that, but I also want that for everybody. So you're gonna get that in all my patterns, but let's get back into this pattern specifically. So I don't know why, but I don't particularly love a like raglan seam when it comes to t-shirts. Don't mind it for sweaters, but for t-shirts, I was like, I wanted a classic t-shirt look. That was maybe a little bit more of a drop shoulder, but I didn't want the seam. Do you know how like a drop shoulder knitted sweater or knitted t-shirt usually has a seam down here? And I don't love that look either. And so this was my like in between. So I have really interesting shaping that goes along the edge. So it kind of like goes along your collarbone or shoulder, and then it swoops down. So it's just like, you're just really not paying attention to that raglan line so much, and it fits really nicely. And so that's a really cool aspect of this t-shirt that is pretty important. And then it's just really relaxed, boxy fit. And then the color work portion, let me stand back up again. So the color work portion, this is based off of the flower Balsamroot, which is in the sunflower family. It grows in the Western United States, I believe in Canada as well. And it's just the happiest flower. I love the flower. I love Balsamroot. And so I was just inspired by that. And that's what that's about. I designed it with a color changing yarn specifically in mind. So you can, choose your colors and grade it how you want to. But I think choosing a color changing yarn, I use Spin Cycles dyed in the wool, makes that process really easy. They kind of do the work for you. And that's what this pattern is really meant for. I think that the color work design is simple enough where it can really I think it's the actual color work pattern is a good marriage for the color changing yarn, because the color changing yarn gets to stand out and the color work pattern stands out equally, if that makes sense. I think some patterns, when they use color changing yarn, the actual pattern design can get lost in it, or the color changing yarn doesn't stand out the way that it should because it's not cheap. So you want it to like pack that punch, and that's what I specifically designed this for. My base, the green color is North Bay Fibers Elemental Fingering, and was excellent. I would say that I would not use 100% plant fiber yarn or 100% silk yarn. You need something that has a little bit of give and that can fill in spaces a little bit, because in that color work chart, there are a couple of areas where there's slightly longer floats, and a plant-based fiber is just, you're gonna hate it by the end. Though I think if you wanted to skip the color work chart and just knit the t-shirt, I think this is a fabulous basic t-shirt. And especially if you could go a little bit smaller on like size down to get like, not a negative ease fit, but like a slightly more tailored fit, and have like just a basic tee. And I think that would be for plant-based fibers. but I would not attempt to do the color work in a plant-based fiber unless you're just like, you know, you've done it, you feel very confident, then like have at it, go for it. Let's see. Right now for the next month, 10% of all sales, so all profits, not all profits, sorry, all sales goes to a nonprofit called American Prairie. And basically what they do is they're buying or at least securing land and they focus on land that's adjacent to public land to restore as much land to the American Prairie and to the Front Range. Excuse my dogs. As possible. And that's open. That's not going to be like a private thing. That's going to be open to people for, you know, it's not government owned land, but it is open to the public. So anyway, 10% of sales goes to that for the first month first month of pattern. And let's see, until Sunday, if you go and sign up for my newsletter, you can find in my most recent, my newsletter's on Substack. So you can find a 10% coupon on there if you want that. Let's see, what else should you know about this? It's very comfortable. All my testers loved their designs and you should love it too. I would be so grateful for your support. I'm very proud of it. I think it turned out really well and I think you'll love it. Okay, yes, so links for the Ravelry page for that are all going to be in the description below. Let me get on to my next pattern, which is, so it's not fully finished yet, my sample of it. I still have the sleeves to do, but let me show you. There's yarn attached to it, so excuse that. But this is the Bitterroot pullover, okay? Yes, yes. Let me try it on for you. Hold on one sec. Excuse the mess in my house. It just is always that way. I have kids and 2 dogs, so, okay. All right, let me stand up for you again. I have yarn attached and it's not been blocked and there are no sleeves. So, you know, but I'm just giving you the vibe. So the sleeves are gonna be knit, just so you know, the sleeves are gonna be knit straight and then there's gonna be a little puff sleeve at the end where we decrease and do some ribbing. So that's gonna be the look for that. The pattern is just gonna continue. Again, each size, so I have 9 sizes in this. I have 9 sizes in my Balsamroot. And each size, okay, let me just do as much of a twirl as I can do in this. I'm still workshopping the neckline or the collar for this and how I wanna pick it up, but I think I've got it down. Okay. So this pattern specifically was such a labor of love because there are 9 sizes and because I care about the fit for each size got its own raglan shaping. However, that meant that I needed to do charts for each size. So each size has its own charts. There are 6 charts. Times that by 9. It was a lot of work, friends, but I think it's totally worth it. It means that after you have put in the work to create like this all over color work, beautiful sweater for yourself, you're actually gonna like the fit. And that's what matters. Yeah. let's see. Something a little bit different that I did with this is because the pattern is not complicated. It was just complicated for me to grade, and I had a lot of charts that I had to work on. But when you work your size, you will get the main pattern, and then like say you purchase it on Ravelry. Instead of having, you know, those patterns that have like multiple languages, and there's multiple patterns. There's one in France, there's one in French, there's one in English, there's one in Spanish, etc., etc. This is going to have the main pattern, and then there's going to be a download for each size for your charts, so that you don't have a 40-page pattern. And yeah, so once you get your charts for your pattern, it's not super complicated. I will say that this shouldn't be your first sweater pattern. You should be fairly comfortable reading charts, though I do explain a little bit about charts. I give a little bit of tips, but you have a chart for your front body and your back body and your sleeves. So one chart for the front and back, one chart for the sleeves, and you kind of work around. And then you come to the next chart. It's kind of worked in blocks, and then you work body, and then you go to sleeve, body, sleeve, and then when you split for the sleeves, you have one chart for the rest of the body, and for where the raglan shaping is, the increases are worked into the chart, so you can visually see where you're increasing and what color that should be. I make it very clear and not confusing. But anyway, I don't know. I just like really rambled there for a second. This is knit in Farmer's Daughter Fibers Pishkin, which is a heavy DK weight yarn. For those who are chosen for the test knit, I do have a tester discount for Farmer's Daughter. So that's exciting. I will want about probably like 3 people per size if possible. And then sizes 3 and 4 are always the first to go. So if you happen to be, especially if you happen to be in the 7, 8, and 9 range, please apply. Because I have historically had a difficult time, getting testers for those sizes. So please apply. You'll probably get it. This is the first time I'm going to try a test call in Ravelry. So I will link to that test call, and you can just say what size you would like in that forum. And what else? What else do I need to tell you about this? It's a dope sweater. I am so proud of it. I am so proud of it. Yeah, it's definitely a statement sweater. And I think it's a joy to knit. Again, it's not a complicated knit. I did all the complicated work for you. So all you have to do is follow the charts and get yourself a gorgeous sweater. Yeah, if you have any questions, post them in the comments below or come over to the Ravelry page and ask them there. Yeah, test starts ASAP. So ideally start by the 1st. Test will end. Izzy, stop. Sorry, excuse my dog. The test will end September 1st. I really would like people who can commit to that timeline as best as possible. I've struggled having people be able to finish tests And I'm totally understanding of that as this is like a volunteer thing. However, you know, it is an important part of the process. This has already been tech edited. It has been tech edited. And so really what I'm looking for you to give me feedback on is, how was it to knit? Do you enjoy the final product? But I'm thinking about having kind of like check-ins, maybe at a halfway point or something like that. If I haven't heard from you, I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling again, but yeah, test starts basically now and goes through September 1st. Please, if you're wanting to test, please commit to that timeline. And again, yeah, I have a tester code for a discount for Farmer's Daughter if you choose to use their yarn, and you don't have to use their yarn. Yeah, please come test for me, please. I think you'll love the sweater. I really think you'll love the sweater very much. I think that's all I have to say. So I know this was a bit of a rambly one, but thank you for being here. And I will be back in 2 weeks for another yarn roundup. And last week, or my last roundup was in the Northeast, so we'll be going to a different section of the United States and highlighting some US yarn from that area, which is fun. Hooray. Yes, again, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Come hang out with me more. And then, yeah, apply for that test knit, or go buy the Balsamroot pattern. Or do all, you know? Nothing's stopping you. Okay, love you guys. Bye.